Whether you're a free-to-play player or a pay-to-play player, I think this information is very valuable because a lot of people don't know what recollections to put on different characters to make full use of them. They don't know which recollections to invest in, and honestly, it takes a lot of farming to be able to invest in recollections. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 free-to-play recollections that I recommend investing in if you are able, and they will help carry you through content in the game for some time to come. These top 5 recollections that I'm going to recommend are still usable and towards the top of the tier list for JP players to this day. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and hop into it. Okay, so this is the recollection that hopefully most people know about by now, but if you don't, you get this from the boss battle against Jogo. You can get a copy for just beating the first difficulty. If you beat it with all 3 missions complete, you get an extra copy, and then if you beat Extreme 1 and Extreme 2, you get more copies. So the nice thing about this particular recollection is it's completely free to play, and you're able to limit break it all the way up to level 5 and make it very, very strong. And this recollection is one of the best damage recollections in the game. It is comparable to the Gojo one, non-standard. Like this one and this one are on the same tier in the tier list for JP players, and this one is completely free to play. So if you haven't gone and beaten those bosses yet, I highly recommend you do it because this particular recollection can carry you through so much content in the future of the game. So what does it do? It has a pre-adjustment form and a post-adjustment form. To my knowledge, right now on Global, we have the pre-adjustment form. Eventually, hopefully, we'll get the post-adjustment form. Let me know if I'm wrong about that down in the comments, though. So when command skill or ultimate skill is activated, increases own Jujutsu damage by 55%, 2 times. And then if you limit break it to level 1, at the start of the turn, if own HP is 50% or below, increases own damage dealt by 30%. So that's a lot of extra damage if you're below 50% HP. Obviously, if you're planning on putting this on Gojo, you're not going to be below 50% HP ever. So keep that in mind. You won't ever get the full benefit of this particular recollection unless you put it on another character. And then if you get it to limit break level 3, when command skill or ultimate skill is activated, increases own Jujutsu damage by 60%. 2 times. So really good damage boost. This is one of the best damage boosters in the game. So if you want to do big damage, this is the recollection you guys should absolutely be going for and investing in. Post adjustment, it changes a little bit, right? But that's unchanged. When command skill or ultimate skill is activated, increases own Jujutsu damage by 55% for 8 turns 2 times, right? So that's the difference. 2 times, 8 turns 2 times. Big difference there. When command skill or ultimate skill is activated, increases own Jujutsu damage by 60% for 8 turns 2 times. Same thing there, just changed the uses and how it's used. So it actually gets a lot better after post adjustment. So just keep that in mind. Pride is definitely going to be one of those recollections you want to get now and then invest in it for the future of the game because it's just going to carry you through. The next recollection that is free to play or relatively free to play that I recommend going for is Death by Wasp. So a lot of you guys will probably find that you have this in your box right now and you might not have invested in it. It's actually really good. So when command skill or ultimate skill is activated, increases all allies damage dealt by 10% for 2 turns. So if you need to put this on one of your supporter characters to increase your damage even more, this is really good for that. And then if you limit break it to level 1, at the start of a turn, if own HP is 50% or below, recovers own cursed energy by 20, which can be really useful in particular on a supporter type character. And then unlocked at limit break level 3, when command skill or ultimate skill is activated, increases all allies damage dealt by 15%. So if you put this on like Yuki, who goes crazy, right, and already increases damage, or even put it on like Yaga or someone else, like this is just a phenomenal ally buffing card, and it's free to play and it's very nice. So if you haven't invested in this yet, I highly recommend investing in this particular recollection. Now the next one, this one was given out in the recent event. Though the future may differ. A lot of people have been asking me, should I trade them in or should I limit break it and invest in it? I would recommend investing in it, especially if you're a free-to-play player. If you're a pay-to-play player, you may not need it as much in the future of the game because obviously other recollections will come out in the future that are better than this. But as of right now on Global, this is still one of the better recollections and it's completely free. So keep that in mind. That is nice. When command skill is activated, increases own taijutsu damage by 40% for 1 turn 1 time. And then if you limit break it to level 1 at the start of battle, decreases own damage received by 10%. And then limit break level 3, when command skill is activated, increases own taijutsu damage by 45%. The main thing about this particular recollection is you want to make sure you're equipping it to the right character, someone who is going to be using physical technique as opposed to curse technique. So this like probably wouldn't work as well on a character like Gojo. So just keep that in mind when you guys are equipping Recollections. They're only going to be good on specific characters. That's kind of what holds this one back from being super, super good. But right now for global, it is still one of the better Recollections that is free, in my opinion. The next one is going to be coming out here very shortly. It's not out yet. It might be out by the time this video comes out though. Satoru Gojo's solo campaign. It's going to be from the new event. And what this one does, when command skill or ultimate skill is activated, increases own damage dealt by 60%. 60% is a lot. Okay, so that's going to help out a lot. If you limit break it to level 1, at the start of a turn, if own HP is 50% or below, increases own cursed energy consumption efficiency for 3 turns. Once again, this won't be super useful if you're planning on putting on Gojo, but like other characters, it will be if they're below 50% HP. And then unlocked at limit break level 3, when command skill or ultimate skill is activated, increases own damage dealt by 65%. So a lot of damage increase, and this is a completely free to play Recollection that you guys can get from the event. So you definitely want to farm this out. You want to limit break it to level 5, which is beautiful. That's the beautiful thing about free to play Recollections, and it's SSR rarity. So the very last one, the very last Recollection that is free to play, or free to play friendly, I should say, that I recommend investing in is probably a little bit different than these others. So we've had a couple of SRs, SSRs in here, but this one is actually a rare Recollection. It's called Shopping featuring Nobara, and people would not expect this to be in my top 5 free-to-play Recollections. There is a simple reason why, and I feel like it's easily slept on and overlooked. So if we scroll down, when command skill or ultimate skill is activated, recovers own HP by 14% of own Jujutsu. And then if you limit break it to level 3, when command skill or ultimate skill is activated, recovers own HP by 22% of own Jujutsu. And those stack, by the way. Whenever you guys are reading these, they stack. So the crazy thing about this is that it says of own Jujutsu. Well, think about Gojo. Gojo, you're building for Jujutsu. If you're building Nobara for Jujutsu, if you're building any character for Jujutsu, they are going to heal a lot. As a rare Recollection, this is a very, very good healing Recollection, and that's why it still sits towards the top of the tier list for JP players. So with all of these out of the way, let me show you guys the tier list and where these Recollections actually rank right now. So keep in mind, this is with all the current Recollections in JP, and these Recollections that I've just shown you are still up here in the higher tiers of the tier list. So Pride is still up here in SS next to non-standard, right? This is a very, very good Recollection. Eventually we'll get more like SR and SSR ones that are up here as well, but they're just not in the game yet. But for free to play, this is one of the best free to play Recollections you can get. Probably the best free to play Recollection you can get as of right now on global. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, you'll see this one that I had mentioned before, the SR one, Death by Wasp. It's an S+ tier, a very good Recollection still to this day. And then if we go down to S tier is still decent Recollections overall. They're not as good as the ones above, but they're decent, right? We have the Nobara shopping one that I mentioned. We have the event one that we just got right now, Through the Future. And then we have Satoru Gojo's solo camping. So all 3 of these ones are in S tier. So all of the Recollections I showed you, according to JP players, are in S tier or above. And there's still a lot of other tiers below. We have A+, A, B, right? So there's a lot of Recollections that are not as good as those ones, just to give you guys an idea of how good those are and where they are placed. And that is it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 20,000 subscribers, and I need your guys' help, so please help me out. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. I really do appreciate you all. Peace.